Hello guys, this is Malorian, it's the Orc Tactical Team, and there's two things I want to cover today. One, we have to kind of go back and there's two corrections I have to make from yesterday's video. The one about the new High Elf book here, because there are two things I got so excited about I didn't realize they're somewhat slightly illegal. So let's do that first. We'll do corrections, and then we're going to move on to my favorite special character. So correction number one would be about the Lore Master of Hoeth. I really had hoped I found a sneaky way to get around this and give him a 4+ ward. So I talked about giving him the shield. They gave you a 4+ parry, and in order to do that, you get him a hand weapon or get rid of his great weapon by giving him a magic weapon. Turns out I'm a cheat, and the reason why you can't do that, of course, is the fact that you don't get a parry with a magic weapon. So I thought I was being so sneaky, getting rid of his great weapon by taking a magic weapon. I kind of forgot the fact that you don't get a parry save from that. So yeah, that's correction number one. Correction number two is about my unit of flyers and giving them Vanguard. You have to be not a unit of flyers. You have to be a unit of a fast cav to get that rule. So obviously they aren't cav, so they're not going to get that rule. So a little bit unfortunate there, but there you are. So even though, let's just talk about that part, even though the Eagles don't get the Vanguard, I still do think this might be a viable option. I mean, hell, these guys have freaking fly, right? Whereas a horde of trolls or horde of whatever, you know, your Cryptors, they can cross the board somewhat fast, right? They're usually getting across their turn 2. The Eagles can get to spots even the trolls and stuff can't imagine, right? If somebody's deployed on the backboard edge, Eagles don't damn care. They're like the honey badger. They're just going to fly up there. They're going to get into turn 2 anyway. As well, of course, with their first turn 20-inch move, they can always fly to that flank and get there anyway. So really, whether they're vanguarding there or not, you know, at least, I mean, hey, if you vanguarded and you took first turn, you couldn't charge anyway. So I still think it is a viable strategy, one that can catch people off guard. You just can't vanguard as part of the package. So there's my two corrections from yesterday. Let's move on to the first special character. And I mean, out of all the special characters, some of them are like, okay, whatever. But there's one that's like, wow, this is different. This is new. I love it. And I'd actually would take it myself. And so what that's going to be is our good old Everqueen. So the Everqueen used to be around, now she's back. And I tell you, I really like the way they did here. I mean, sure you have like Techless and all that fun stuff, but she's actually a little bit more affordable, and I think she's more powerful too. But let's take a look at this. She is a level 4 wizard, and she either has to take spells from the Lore of Life, the Lore of Light, or from High Magic. So you're kind of limited to those three, but hey, those are all three very great lores. Not really a strike against her. The big thing here is that she can generate these from any 2 of those. So before you start rolling your dice, you pick these 2, and then, okay, I'll take 1 from Lore of Life, 3 from here, off you go and roll these, right? Or whatever combination you want to do. So this gives you a lot of options. Let's say you wanted to have the Lore of Life attribute, so you're going to take a couple of spells from there. And then, okay, well, I also want to make sure I get this signature at least. Well, at least you're going to take 1 from there. Again, it's like the Lore Master, where you have these options and this certainty, right? If I want to take both of these signature spells, or like I say, sometimes the best thing about the Lore of Life is the actual lore attribute to heal things around you. That's great. You already know you can be taking spells from that lore and from this lore. So a very, very awesome thing to do with her. Then she has a whole bunch of items she gets to deal with. I mean, sure, she has some of the stuff, like she has martial prowess and stuff, because, I don't know, I guess if you ever get it set up so that she's, yeah, I don't know. They have all that stuff there. But the other thing, too, of course, she does get the +1 for casting for High Elf Magic. Pretty much all the mages do. But at any rate here, her first one is called Boon of Isha. And what this means is that all attacks made by the Everqueen are magical. And in addition, all of the models in her unit are immune to fear and terror. You know, again, we're talking about a mage attacking here, right? So this is going to be kind of minor. However, hey, being immune to fear and terror can come up sometimes. If you're playing against somebody that is doing the whole spam so that, okay, your leadership is reduced and you're taking your leadership on 3d6 and I'm going to make you fail your fear test. No, man, we're immune. We have the Everqueen. So it can come in, probably not all the time, but there you go. Next one here. Chaos Bane. This one is actually kind of interesting. And so what it does is that at the start of each of her magic phases, before you roll the Winds of Magic, every unit that's basically demonic within 12 inches of her just takes D6 strength 4 hits. Just if you're around her and you're a demon, you start taking this damage. However, the Everqueen herself, and I wish they just call her Everqueen through the whole thing rather than her first name there, also suffers minus D3 penalty to her casting attempts, as if if there was at least one of these models around her. So it's like having these demons around her do make her worse at casting, but at the same time you're killing stuff around you. So you can kind of say like, well, in my magic phase I could have actually been blasting all these demons. So it's kind of an equal trade-off, I'd see it. And a lot of times I'd love to be damaging things around me. And at the end of the day, minus D3 isn't that bad when you consider the banner you can take with her. But we'll get to that in a second. The next one here is the Touch of the Everqueen. Another kind of Mazamandi type thing where her close combat attacks have the heroic killing blow rule if directed against models from the forces of destruction. Again, we're talking about a mage here, so unless someone else boosts her up with beast magic to get the +3 attacks and strength or something, this probably isn't coming in. But hey, it's always one of those things where you always have that chance of rolling that 6. Like I said, it's like the Mazda where, oh yeah, I got this always strikes first weapon that's strength 5 and destroys magical weapons, but then again it's on a slant. So it's one of these things where just like one in every 50 games you're going to go and you're going to heroic killing blow some chaos dragon or something. But I mean, yeah, that's probably one in every 5,000. But hey, it's just one of those things. It's like the neat little funny rule she has there. All right, now those are kind of like her rules. Now we get to the actual items. The first one is a Shield Stone of Isha. Now this is a talisman, and it's going to give her a 5+ ward against any non-magical attacks. So, again, there's ways around it if you have anything magical attacking her. But hey, there's two big things to be looking at with this. One, we talked about how awesome ward saves are, so once you have this started on her, and that's sometimes a big bad thing you see about special characters, as they don't come with the ward save you normally take with all your regular ones, you can build yourself. The other part there, let's get this looking at more better stuff. The other part of this too, of course, high magic, you can make this better. So after just a couple of castings, she has a 3+ ward. Good luck trying to kill this lady, right? As long as you're taking the high magic. So that's pretty awesome. Of course, like, you only have that against non-magical attacks. If that's ever is a worry, hey, take the Banner of the World Dragon, have a 2+ ward against magical attacks as well. So, pretty nice thing to start with. Okay, now we're going with the next one, which is the Star of Avalorn. Now, at the start of your movement phase, nominate a single friendly character within 12 inches. That model immediately gains a wound lost earlier in the battle. And she can only heal herself if there's no other targets. This is just something where it's awesome, right? This is like Isabella, kind of from the vampire counts, except like, yeah, just anyone within 12, just make it happen. So like I was talking before, where you might want to have that lore attribute from the lore of life, well, you also have this that's going to be happening automatically as well. So, either you can think of it as okay, well, I guess I don't need that magical attribute from Lore of Life, or the second part saying like, man, I can just be healing stuff around me like crazy. Maybe I'll have some Lore of Life spells, and from the attribute or from the regrowth in that spell, I'm healing. And maybe I'll get lucky from my high magic. I'll get the healing one there too, right? So she could actually be doing lots of crazy healing. But hey, it's always great to have that free wound every single turn. Okay. Then we have her Staff of Avalorn. And what it is a one-use only, and it can be only used in the magic phase. And what this allows you to do is to cast a spell that you've already tried to cast at least before in the phase. And I mean, what this really means is that it allows you to cast the same spell twice. Sure, there's that words in there about how you have to have already tried to cast it before. But really, I mean, that's just kind of helping dumb players because this is a one-use only, so you might as well only use it if you've already casted it normally once. Otherwise, let's say you miscast and you lose your dice, then you can't even cast 2 times in the same turn anyway. But this is a big deal. Of course, all other mages, you can only cast that spell once. She can pick one spell to pick the spell to cast twice. Now, sure, it's only a one-use item, but like we always talk about, it usually comes down to that one main combat. Can you go and get the magic you need in that one combat to turn it the way you need it to go? We also talk about, say, like in the Lore of Life, which she can take, that, hey, Lore of Life is great, but there's usually just that 1 or 2 spells that you know you got to stop, and so big deal, you stop that and you're fine. Well, what if she got to cast that spell twice? You know, she goes in there, gets thrown through, and then, okay, flush the stone. And you're up against a smart opponent, and they go, ha, stopped it. And you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to cast that again. Damn, now you just destroyed their plans, right? So that can be absolutely massive. Of course, hell, maybe it's a double Dwellers. Maybe it's a double whatever you want, right? There's all the good ones in the High Elf Magic as well. Maybe it's a double Vols on Making, basically, and you destroy 2 magic weapons, or magic items, rather, from a character, right? Like, this is a very solid thing to have, and I hope people appreciate the power that comes behind this. So, moving on now, she has a ability. This actually comes more like from 40k, which was kind of interesting to see here. Like, you know, if you take Belial, it's like, oh, if you have Belial in 40k, then you can take this banner somewhere, and you can take, yeah, this other gear. It's the same thing here. So this is gear that you can only take if you have her. And this is what I was talking about, where there's that other, like, Handmaiden Noble, and I might as well, Handmaiden of the Everqueen, which is like, well, normally it's like, yeah, you can take her and she's whatever. This is where she's important, because she's the one that actually has the access to take these items of the Everqueen. So it's really only if you're taking her. And what these 2 items are first, number 1, the Horn of Isha. Now, this is, and I'm probably saying this one wrong, maybe it's Isa, I don't know. Again, I'm not a fluff guy, I'm a rules guy. Now, it's a one-use only, and what this does is the horn can be used at the start of one of your movement phases, and for the remainder of the turn, all models in this bear's unit get +1 to hit bonus on shooting and close combat attacks. This isn't a game changer. It is really nice, though. Again, like we talked about, if this is your one main combat and you want to make sure this goes your way, boom, use this, and you're going to get +1 attack. Or sorry, +1 to hit bonus. She is kind of like a stabby person. Hey, let's say this is in something with a ton of attacks, like a big unit of spears or something. Stabby, 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 stab. Hey, He-Man, do you want to come here? All right. Here we have High Elf Expert He-Man to help me out. But, you know, so it's nice, but then again, we're talking about an army with always strikes first, so they're usually re-rolling the hit, so they're getting lots of hits anyway. But hey, it's something that could be nice. You think it's pretty awesome, He-Man? It's a good thing. So, but here we go. Now here's a second one that when I read this, I just went, whoa, and people around were like, what's wrong? What's wrong? No, this is just amazing. She also has a special banner that just she can take. And what that does is all spells from the Lore of Light or Life cast by friendly wizards that target a unit containing the banner get a +4 bonus to cast. And the big thing I see here is what's one of your big buff lores? Lore of Life. We're already talking about how our other one is great for the Lore of Life for doubling up. Well, what if you got +4 to cast all of these spells? So even we were talking about before, where if you're against demons, you're minus D3. Well, if you're +4, you're still ahead of the game, right? And so just think of all the buffs you could put on a unit and how easy it'd be if it was +4. Again, I was talking about doubling up Flesh to Stone. Well, you might be saying, Malorian, how are you going to have enough dice for that? Well, this basically means that each casting you can go with less than 1 dice. Hey, He-Man, can you do your silliest face for the camera? Silly face, scary face, scary face, angry face. I just pooped my pants face. No, okay, but yeah. So to me, that banner can be crazy, and can be really tough for buffing things up. Of course, you'll probably want to have this as well, so that This is on a main combat unit, so that if you're ever casting a signature spell, the Earth Blood on that one as well, yeah, it's just going to be +4/+4. And I mean, you just think of these things and how easy it is to cast these spells now on them. It's just pretty amazing. So to me, the way I see her is she is meant to be built around the lore of life. And I could totally see you taking her. I mean, if you're looking at how she compares to a regular Archmage, she is more expensive, of course. I mean, your Archmage with her normal builds and things that she's going to take, like say you're assuming a 4+ ward you're going to be taking on her, and the scroll and all that fun stuff, you're already looking at, close to 300 points. Well, the Everqueen herself is going to be 350 points. Not that big of a difference for all the different stuff it lets you do and let you take. So I can definitely see her as someone you can normally take. Of course, you want the game to be a little bit larger. We're not talking about small games here or anything. But yeah, definitely out of the whole batch, my favorite one. Because, I mean, once you start getting into tech lists and stuff, you're up at the, 450 range, which is now like, and all this stuff. But we'll get into tech lists and other special characters later. Either way, He-Man. Ugh. What was your thoughts on the High Elf book? Was it pretty awesome?
Yes.
If you were a High Elf player, how would you kill demon princes?
I don't know.
What's your favorite way to kill a demon prince?
Stabbing with an eye.
Stab them in the eye. So there it comes from He-Man. If you face demon princes, stab them in the eye. But what if you were facing up against High Elves? What would you be the most scared of?
I don't know.
How would you beat a High Elf? If you were being attacked by a High Elf Phoenix, how would you destroy it?
Stabbing a sword into its stomach.
Yeah, so just take a sword, stab it into its stomach, and the Phoenix is done. So there you have it. There's the Orc Tactical Team. Sorry about the mistakes from yesterday. Again, like I said, I was so excited about these hordes of eagles and this Lore Master thing that I kind of missed some of the stuff there. But thanks for pointing them out, guys. And like I said, I'm going to be doing other videos and other special characters later. So thanks for watching. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.